on to you, Aries out here? Hopefully, y'all are having a good day. So, for you, Aries, you actually have the Queen of Cups, the Chariot, and then you have the King of Pentacles. Okay. So, these three cards right here for you, Aries. Okay. So, what's happening here is that some of you, Aries, may, again, going back to the relationship thing, you, Aries, see things differently now. You see relationships differently now. Friendships, family ties, romance, you see all relationships differently. You see it as a lot of the times people are trying to get something from you, use you, unfortunately, treat y'all like whatever, and they don't really understand that you have value just in your life, just living, right? Your intrinsic value of you being alive, right? And so with that being said, a lot of you Aries understand now that once again you're looking for good options, picking good options, understanding that if you're going to be with a person, they have to be a good option for you. They just can't be someone that ultimately expects you to be in a relationship with them, and while they use you, and you, Aries, everything that you've worked for crumbles because, or it's harder to maintain because you have this, oh, I was about to, you have this parasite attached, who's attached themselves to you, right? And so the things that the Ten of Swords here and the Five of Swords represents, so you've had individuals that try to make it seem like you are nothing or less than nothing. That's okay, because you, Aries, are going off and looking for other opportunities. And, you don't want them in the future crying to you about when they, if and when you, Aries, find someone that is compatible for you, the next thing you know, they're crying and they're talking about how, the two of y'all should have linked up and been together, but they had their opportunity. They would have missed the part where they had their opportunity to be with you, and they it was a wash because they didn't take they did they didn't take the opportunity when they should have, right? And so again, you, Aries, are looking for other opportunities as far as business, as far as love, as far as your presence, who you are, the value that you bring, the good nature that you bring, wanting people to win. Because sometimes wanting people to win and wishing them to win it's always a good thing, but a lot of the times people, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes people don't understand that value. Not being jealous and not looking at you, Aries, and being like, and thinking to themselves secretly, showing themselves to be in front of you one way, but then behind the scenes to be a different way. Why does Aries gotta have that? Why this Aries gotta have this? Why does this Aries got to have that and this and that? XYZ, all of this other nonsense, right? No, that's valuable even on itself, where a person sees you and they say, they cool with you, and then behind your back, they also say, I hope the Aries win. No matter how rich they are, no matter how, because sometimes another aspect of it too is you get to a point where you become financially successful, and then people stop wishing good on you. People stop praying for the ones who pray. People stop meditating or doing their magic for you and stuff like this to protect you and to help you grow. People stop. You Aries got enough bread, y'all be all right. you know it's rare that a person is like, it's very rare that a person is like, hey, I like Aries. I like these Aries, and I hope they continue to win, rich as they are, as long as they have the character, as long as they're still being decent people. They're not trying to use people and just treat people like toys and whatever, robots, whatever. They good. I hope they get to excuse me, I hope they get to a point where they're even better than where they are even now, right? A lot of the times people don't have that. But a lot of you Aries are going and hanging out with people from now on and finding people who move like that. because a lot of you are learning to hang out with people based upon, like I said, their character, right? And one of the best ways, and I think I've talked about this in the last Aries video, but one of the best ways to find out about a person's character is to check their sincerity, right? Are they hanging out with you based upon mutual respect? And they see iron sharpens iron, and they see, okay, if I hang out with Aries, Aries going hanging out. I'm not looking to get something off of Aries parasitically, but hanging out with Aries will inspire me. Watching what they're doing will inspire me to do better because I see my friends doing great and I want some of that. But I don't want to parasitize or parasitically take it from them and eat off of their plate. I want to make my own. You understand what I'm saying? That's what iron sharpens iron is about. And so the thing is that that's rare, like I said. So the king of wands here represents how but you're willing to actually move forward and find people like that. So the ace of cups and the strength card here is that a lot of you are now demonstrating your willingness to place your trust in people's hands, so to speak, who is trustworthy. So individuals, so a lot of you Aries are learning a very powerful life lesson that, unfortunately, not everybody is your friend. Not everybody is in your corner. And you have people who are in your corner, some people who are not, some people who are shaky and maybe. And so a lot of you Aries are learning how to decipher and if a person is in your corner, and far more so, how to go about looking for individuals that do have your best interest at heart, but are also competent, right? They've got their own thing going on. I know some of y'all have real estate and all that stuff. I personally don't get into real estate myself, particularly, not because I'm jealous of you or whatever, but because I'm trying to carve out my own lane with this thing. You understand what I'm saying? Simply because I'm just trying to carve out my own lane. It doesn't have anything to do with, not wanting y'all to prosper or whatever. This is about me standing on my own 2 feet. Because there's no way that I'm going to not give it a try myself and steadily begging y'all all the time and asking y'all for money. I'm not doing that. You dig what I'm saying? Why do y'all think I go so hard with the tarot readings? Here, I constantly try to create products that potentially y'all will buy from. I'm trying to make it enticing for y'all to feel proud to pay, like what Nipsey Hussle said, right? I'm not asking to, I'm not chasing up behind y'all asking. You dig what I'm saying? So the mutual respect is what creates and grows and cultivates relationships. And so the thing is that because of that, the world card and the star card here, finishing up kind of early. Ooh, the world card here and the star card here. The world card is Capricorn. The star card is Aquarius. So a lot of Saturnian energy, right? So the world card here represents how, once again, it's strength, right, which you already have, but in a different way, in a sense that the things that you Aries wanted to happen is happening, right? A lot of you Aries want to be seen as not, or I should say, more than just a pretty face, right? You're not just a pretty face. You actually have a mind, and you're a force to be reckoned with, right? You actually do have an important foothold in the world, right? Now, granted, personally, that's a 50-50 kind of thing. The reason why I'm saying that is because sometimes people I'm not gonna lie, sometimes people underestimate you Aries and they go, yeah, y'all look good, and that's all it is that they concentrate on. And then that's their situation that they have to learn to get over. but I say it's a 50-50 thing because that's their 50. That's their share of the blame. You, Aries, is a share of the blame. It's the fact that y'all gotta understand that y'all looks is a part of the package, right? You know, that's kind of the little issue that I have with people in general with that kind of mindset in general. That mindset. I'm not talking about people having a beef with them. I mean the mindset in particular. It's the fact that denying one aspect of themselves in exchange to gain validation for another aspect. And it's like, no, we have to respect all aspects. See, people, see, this is what I'm talking about. People want to talk about being healed, but they don't want to talk about being healed all the way holistically. You are attractive, and you have a mind on you, and you get money, right? This is where you get the individuals who, again, don't like to be called attractive. And it's like, you got to understand that if you are attractive, it doesn't mean that that's the only thing that you're worth. Treat the people who only treat you like you're only attractive, just wherever they are. The people who see you as, yeah, you Aries are attractive, and you have a mind on you, and you got bread, and you have skills, treat them a different kind of way. Because sometimes you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same situation as when you Aries sometimes will call somebody attractive, and they'll get upset with you, and you're like, I thought I was giving a person a compliment. What's going on? They don't even want to accept their own attractiveness. And it's like, we got to get through this. We have to accept this. We have to. But the point I'm trying to make here is things are going great for you, right? But it's also, again, the star card, right? There's an aspect of like, if you are to reach greater heights, you Aries have to understand whom you are, and you have to understand your surroundings. This is what these two cards are saying. You're out of touch with certain aspects of yourself. This is where the sensuality comes into play, right? The sensuality, the in touch and in tune with who you are. You're attractive. You Aries got to accept this and stop taking it personally, and stop taking it like it's an insult. You're attractive. You have to accept this aspect of who you are. Yes, you have a mind. I'm not saying you didn't have a mind, but two or more things can be true at the same time. Are plants green? A lot of them are, yes. And depending on where you are, sometimes they can turn different colors depending on the weather change. You know what I'm saying? You got to accept these aspects of who you are. Otherwise, it's still denying it in exchange for another thing. Because a lot of you Aries are healing, is why I'm saying this. But you're missing certain elements of who you are on top of that, is what I'm trying to say, right? It's like Ichigo Kurosaki from the show Bleach, right? My favorite anime right now. And it's been my favorite anime for some years. But my favorite, even over Dragon Ball Z, but it's been my favorite anime, right? You know, when Kurosaki Ichigo said the blade is me, meaning that basically, you know, he broke a sword, and then he basically had to go within himself, right? And he had to make peace with himself. He had this hollow that was a large portion of his Shinigami and hollow powers mixed together, right? Because they conglomerated. And then he also had his Quincy powers that was separate, right? And so he realized that the Quincy in him had different aspects of the hollow slash Shinigami part of him. So he's thinking to himself that the Quincy side was the totality of, or the majority of who he was. And he basically went internal, and he realized, wait a minute, these two aspects are other aspects of who I am that I need to accept about myself. So he realized that other Shinigamis, right? Go ahead and watch the anime if you want to. Other Shinigamis basically hollow out aspects of themselves, or they shell other aspects of themselves by separation. Their sword is an extension of who they are, but they look at their sword as a different entity to a certain extent. What Ichigo Kurosaki did, right, where because he went into this pit or whatever, because like a blacksmith was telling him to choose another piece of steel for the blacksmith to make a sword out of. All of these living Zanbakutos, these living pieces of steel, right? Check the metaphor. Bowed to Kurosaki Ichigo as he walked through, and then he randomly picked one, and he put his hand in the other person's hand, and he said, "Hey, what's up? I got you. I've been looking for you." That "got you, I've been looking for you" is different aspects of himself, and him accepting aspects of himself. So when he picked it out, um, and he climbed back up or whatever, because he was like in this like little drop down area, this little pit or whatever. Peep game, right? The abyss, right? Peep game, right? The abyss, moving from here to here. He basically, the abyss or the pit was the abyss. He got to here. Now he understood. But Zangetsu, aka Yuwak, is dressed in all black. Saturn, right? Right? Peep game. So now the person basically forges the swords, and then he's telling him different aspects of himself, and he says, "What?" And then it's from that point on, Kurosaki Ichigo goes in and he says, "No, I want both Quincy powers and the Hollow/Shinigami powers," right? Both of them came out with two swords because he accepted, "I am the blade. There is no separation." That kind of separation is what a lot of you Aries are dealing with. You want the validation of being not just attractive, but you are missing the point. The point that you Aries are missing is that you are valuable, and that you have to start carrying yourself in its totality of what that means, and not just fragmenting or kind of throwing at bay or separating different aspects of yourself, because it's all supposed to blur. It's all supposed to be one. Different aspects of yourself, but the totality is the same person. So let's clarify the star card. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I meant when I put up on my Instagram and I said the blade is me. I know what I'm talking about. So let's clarify the star card. So again, the Sun card, right? The Wheel of Fortune, Five of Gabriel, and then you have the Magician, and then you have the Nine of Gabriel for you, right? To clarify the star card. So the Sun card, Wheel of Fortune, and the Five of Gabriel speaks, and then the Aries carries out the duties and responsibilities of the King, Leo, the Sun, basically. So Aries is exalted in the Sun. Leo is exalted in the Sun. Virgo is exalted in the Sun. Taurus, Gemini, fourth house, Virgo, Libra, not Scorpio, Sagittarius, not Capricorn, Aquarius, no, not really Aquarius, Pisces, right? Most zodiac signs are actually exalted in the Sun. You know, Aries is exalted in Mars, but it's also exalted, or I should say Aries. Yeah, Aries is exalted, and it is in its own home planet, as well as exalted in Mars, as well as the Sun. Aries is exalted in the Sun as well. So there you go. Don't believe me? Go ahead and look it up. But so the situation with that is the star card, right, to clarify, which is Aquarius. It represents if you are going to reach higher aspects of yourself, then the Sun card represents the bringing the attention to different aspects of yourself that you don't want people to just see, but the not just seeing are aspects of yourself anyway. If y'all are attractive, then rep being attractive, but also rep other things that you've got going on too. not just a pretty face or whatever, right? Or I don't know, you know. And so the Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Gabriel here represents that's how you get out of it. Because a lot of you have been trying to like figure out how to do this. And the Magician and the Nine of Gabriel here represents once you've accepted that aspect of yourself, that is when it is that you, Aries, will do better and you'll get better because you won't be fragmenting or kind of piecing off different aspects of oneself. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get the YouTube channel to 100K. We're at 29,736 subscribers. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. You can also hype the channel as well if you want to. Peace. Appreciate it.